Thurston County Board of County Commissioners, Commissioner Bud Blake, the chair of the board this year. I'd like to start off by doing introductions. To my left is Commissioner Gary Edwards. To my right is Commissioner John Hutchings. To his right is Clerk of the Board, Labanita Bomar. And to her right is the County Manager, Ramiro Chavez. And just in the nick of time, we have the Assistant County Manager, Robin Campbell. With that in mind, I'll ask Commissioner Gary to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
fantastic. So with that in mind, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda for today.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve today's agenda of March 21, 2017.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and second to approve the agenda for 21 March 2017. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And motion for the board minutes for 14 March 2017.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the board meeting minutes from March 14, 2017.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and second to approve the board minutes for March 14, 2017. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, with that in mind, we have some presentations, but before we get to that, I'd just like to make a public announcement that we from the county and the citizens of Thurston County would like to express our sincere condolences for the passing Mayor Randy Schleiss, who passed away last week. God bless his soul. He's a great American since he served his country, he served his city, he served his county as a law enforcement person and a mayor, and we absolutely wish him and his family the best, and we love him and wish him Godspeed. With that in mind, I'll start with the presentations. And first we have the resource stewardship. Mr. Butler is going to announce a few new employees.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Board of Commissioners. It takes me great pleasure to be here to introduce our number of new employees. And I'm going to ask the new employees to come up when I call their name and to stand here until we've completed bringing everyone forward. And this goes back to April of 2016. These are all the employees that have been hired since April of 2016. Shannon Kelly was hired in April of 2016. And Shannon is a planning technician. She reviews residential projects in rural and urban growth areas for compliance with zoning and critical areas, and is a Husky with a degree in a master's degree in community and economic development. Casey Hathaway, will you join us? Oh, Casey is still at the counter. She's assisting someone with the public.
Good job.
And she is a new assistant planner and brings experience from Jefferson and Kittitas counties, where she worked in the planning department. She has a degree in environmental geology and currently assists customers in the Permit Assistance Center. Deborah Bordelone, would you please come forward? Deborah was hired in July of 2017. And she is a senior office assistant with Washington State University Extension. Deborah comes to the county with more than 15 years higher education experience with Colgate University, Amherst College, and is managing the WSU office, directing volunteers to appropriate resources, record keeper billing, and accounting for WSU's various programs. I would also like to introduce Nathaniel Kale, who goes by Nat. He was hired in October of 2016. Thank you, Nat. In the water resource, as a water resource specialist too. He joined us after working with the State Department of Ecology. In his role, he collects field data and processes it using statistical software to create predictive models. And Casey Hathaway just joined us as well. Thank you,
Casey. That's okay.
And I'd like to introduce Jason Albert.
Jason.
Okay, so Jason, and I'll speak to him, he was hired in 2016 as a financial analyst and has been an employee of the county managing staff and grant projects, and has been a critical employee in making sure that we meet our fiscal responsibilities as a department. And I'd like to introduce Amy Correa.
There she is, right here.
Oh, thank you, Amy. Amy was hired in February 2017 as a communications outreach coordinator. Will coordinate communications, education, outreach with all stakeholders, including cities. Amy's experience includes project management, scientific, technical, and communication experience, web development, managing staff and grant projects, and systems improvement. Thank you, Amy.
Wow.
And I'd like Manny Ramos to come forward. Manny? Manny was hired in March 2017 as a building inspector. He is a returning employee and has more than 20 years of construction industry experience. Thank you, Manny.
Couldn't get enough.
Gary Richardson was hired in March 2017 as a compliance coordinator, and he also brings extensive experience, 20 years of construction experience, most of which has been in the surrounding communities. And then Todd Staben. He was hired earlier this month, March 2017, as the new fiscal manager. He will manage all budgeting, accounting, grants, and associated fiscal transactions and reporting. Todd comes to the county from Lewis, Mason, Thurston Area Agency on the Aging and has over 20 fiscal years experience. And then in conclusion, I should actually announce that I would also fall in as one of the employees hired in the last year. And I came actually from Northern California, but it's really returning back to the state I love most.
Cool. Do you have any comments?
No, I'm good. Glad to have him here.
Yeah, very happy to have you here. A wealth of information and experience.
I'm looking for a job. You got any more job openings there?
Well, right now we have everything.
No, just joking. I'm just joking. No, thank you so much for hiring on here with Thurston County and doing local government. It's extremely important. I see the talent we have here, and it's just absolutely amazing, some of the things we can do to take care of service and the people of this county. And I thank you. We thank you tremendously, and we wish the best. It's a big family, but it's a fun family, and we look forward to doing a lot of great things together. So congratulations. Yeah.
And welcome back, Manny.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Brent. And welcome aboard, Brent. Finally.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the fun part. The librarian. Cheryl Haywood will come to the podium and talk to us about Timberland Regional Library Annual Report, and we look forward to this one.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Hi,
And
Cheryl.
before I get started, I'd like to have the staff who are here today introduce themselves and the library they work at. So this is public library experience, right? And I guarantee that there's probably over 200 years amongst the 6 of us here today. So Nicole.
Hi, my name's Nicole Thody. I'm the library manager in Yelm.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Hello.
Holly Paxson, I'm the manager at the Lacey Timberland Library.
Ollie, how you doing?
Hi, I'm Carissa Sullivan, and I'm the e-library manager at the CERN
Did you
Center.
say Kersey?
Carissa,
Oh, Carissa, thank you.
At which
Okay.
center?
at our headquarters.
Oh,
So she
headquarters.
does
Okay.
she oversees our e-library, which is basically
That's
Ask
what
a
I thought she
Librarian,
said.
where
Okay.
people can
Okay.
phone in, live chat, and
Yeah.
email in their questions.
Yeah, she has a soft voice, that's all.
Yes, and I don't.
And you're supposed to in the
I'm
library.
the Olympia Library Manager. I'm Donna Federer, and I am the Tumwater and Tenino.
Hello, Donna.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay for Tainai, right.
And rocking your wristband you gave us.
Thank you, thank you, good. So the wristband that you just received from Timberland has on it all the documents that is in the folder I just gave you as
Oh,
well.
how cool.
Well, that's why it's heavy.
Oh,
So
okay,
we
that's
would
where it's
like
at.
for you to share this information with
Okay.
as many people as possible.
Got it.
So, yes, there you go. So, on behalf of the 315 staff across 27 libraries, across 5 counties serving 500,000 people, I'm here to share with you the highlights of 2016 and some of the highlights going into 2017. If you pull out your folder, you will see this annual report, and it is not your usual corporate annual report. There's a few numbers in there, but I really want you to open it up fully so that you can see
Yeah, we can see.
the joy, the engagement, the empowerment of people of all ages in our five-county region. These are the highlights of the photos that were taken last year of the major events that went on. So we say in English, there's an English idiom, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and there are many pictures in this 2016 annual report which captures people's excitement of library programs and services. And looking more closely at the pictures, one can see how people and our staff were engaged, enriched, and empowered. So I want to share with you a few of the highlights. Last year, we focused on STEM-related programming for people of all ages. We used the following STEM-related robotic programs. Some of them have very weird names. Some of them are called Ozobots, or Dashandots, or Ruminate, or Makey, or Squishy Circuits.
Okay.
So if you want to know anything more about that, you need to go to a program.
Is that a generational thing?
Yes.
Sounds like Dr. Seuss.
Yes. Our summer reading program last year focused on exercise and sports, and we had close to 27,000 children attend 620 programs across the five-county district. Very exciting new project, MyTRL. MyTRL is a new partnership between the Olympia School District and Timberland Regional Library. MyTRL means that the 10,400 students who attend Olympia schools received on September 21st an e-card from Timberland, which allows them to gain access to our over 50 online databases for homework help. We are now in the process of working with all the superintendents, because we have 46 school districts. We are also working with ESD 113 and also 112 and 114
Awesome.
to expedite this process as quickly as possible for the other 46 school districts. For those who are interested, bless you.
Thank you.
46 school districts, for those who are interested. So we know as of 3 weeks ago, 10,400 students, right, were issued cards last September. 3 weeks ago, 4,204 of them were using their cards. So it's an exciting new opportunity for kids to get access to our online services. Another exciting project going on right now is with the Tenino School District. They called us up and they wanted to be able to lend us some Chromebooks into the Tenino Timberland Library so that students there can get access to not only the school district's information, but gain access to it through our Wi-Fi inside the library, because some of the students do not have internet at home. So we're looking at expediting that too for school districts who are interested. In terms of supporting local economies, we explored the feasibility last year of becoming a Microsoft Office certification test site. So if you're living in Ocean Park, you've got to come all the way here to take the test. And last year, Donna in Tumwater tried it out with what we call the Test Fest and realized that it was fairly easy to do. And so later this year, Donna will be spearheading 5 locations, 1 in each county. So Aberdeen, Chehalis, Nacelle, North Mason, and Tumwater will be the locations in the Timberland libraries for patrons or residents to go and take a test for Microsoft Office certification, right?
Fantastic. That's
We're
great.
going to be able to give out free vouchers for this from the state library. So the state library is going to give us vouchers that are worth about $100 to give out to people who want to take the test. So there'll be more news about this, later on this year. We recently received $10,000 from the Pacific Mountain Workforce Development Council to spearhead a very unique pilot program in Pacific County, the first of its kind in the state of Washington, whereby we are making available 2 laptops in each of the 5 libraries in Pacific County so that people could come in and look for jobs and write that resume and do their research and take their classes for as long as they need on that laptop. If it is successful, we will be rolling it out to the other libraries as well. A couple of months ago, we started a new subscription to 2 major online classes that are free. One of them is called Universal Class. One of them is called lynda.com. Hundreds of classes that could help your staff here. The top classes being taken right now are all based on software learning of different kinds. And then photography is the next top one that is being used. Then, let's see, we also had a library card art contest for children and for teens, and we had 10-year-old Layla Gridley of Olympia and 16-year-old Erin Tillett of Toledo will now have their images on limited library cards, limited edition library cards. So every year we put out a survey. It's called the Impact Survey. It's done by the Information School at the University of Washington, and we run it for a month. It's a 20-minute online survey asking our patrons how they use our technology and also looking at outcome measurements about how they use our technology for education, employment, and health, and so on. 3,550 people took this survey, and I want to just share with you some of the outcomes. 604 responded about the employment section. 171 of them used our online resources to apply for a job. 98 were granted an interview, and 67 were hired for a new position. 178 responded that they accessed our online resources for entrepreneurship, and 78 performed business-related research. In terms of education, 675 people applied or looked for information about education. 40 applied for a degree or certificate program, and of those, 26 were admitted to the program. 39 applied for financial aid, and of those, 26 received financial aid. So last year we gave out, because of the 10,400 library cards, we gave out 26,310 new library cards in Thurston County. The downloadable collections that we have increased by 27%, so residents of Thurston County love their downloadables. I want to leave you with a service story. So we had our first coding or programming type of coding program for people of all ages at Lacey. They've had multiple ones last year, but at the first one, a grandfather came in with his 10-year-old grandson, and they worked on the coding projects together. Two gentlemen, longtime regular patrons, came in to just check out what was going on at that program, and they ended up staying for the full 2 hours, helping each other and receiving help from the 11-year-old and his mom on the computer next to them. So the Code Club is truly for all ages, intergenerational. It's collaborative community programming at its best. That's my report for today.
Wow.
Do we get to comment on this?
Yeah, you're first. Go ahead.
I would just like to say that you can feel your enthusiasm.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. No, super.
Okay,
Super.
thank you. I do a lot of public speaking.
Oh, well, yeah, but
Can you tell?
No, but you're enthused about your topic. That's a
Yes.
big difference.
Yes, because it truly changes people's lives.
Yes.
The depth and the breadth of the resources we have, we are not your grandfather's library, right? We are a current, cool place to go, and we are the backbone of accessing information for wherever you are in your life. Whatever you are doing, you can get access to information that you cannot find in a lot of different places, and to programming and services and all sorts of things.
And this is not your library voice.
No, it's not. Because I know I'm talking to a big group.
Carissa had a library voice.
Carissa
looking
has
at-
a library voice.
I'm looking at the total
No, there she is. Thank you.
revenues of 22.3 million.
Yes.
How much is that from nickel a day book fines?
Not much. Not much. But, you know, the nickel a day, it's definitely part of our general operating budget, and so that's roughly $330,000 a year that we get in overdue fines at a dime a day.
I did not know
And-
you were still charging fines.
Well, we had to start charging fines in 2009 because our levy
Oh.
lid lift at that point failed, and there was a $2.5 million gap, and we had to make up the difference somehow.
Grief.
Nickel by nickel, huh?
Because that went away a long time ago. I didn't know it returned in 2009.
We actually, I don't, you know, I was born in '62, so I don't know what happened when, I mean, I know Timberland was formed in '68, and I don't know what happened in the '70s, but for at least the '80s and '90s, we had no overdue fines, right?
Yeah.
But we introduced overdue fines in '09 because of the failure of the levy lid lift.
330,000. Good grief.
Yeah.
I am so proud of what you do. For
We're
the
very
whole
proud of
region,
what
but-
we do,
and
yes.
really what you guys are doing down in South County. And so I
Yes,
know.
Donna's doing some great work working with STEADY, right, the South Thurston Economic Development Initiative, and we are working with the school district. So she and her staff are working closely with the Tenino School District, Nicole as well, and Yelm. So we're trying to get the word out as quickly as we can about the depth and the breadth of our resources.
And former Councilwoman Serena Painter
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Very well done.
I too are so proud of what you do, as to capitalize off what Gary and Hutch said there, as far as your outreach, on your engagement and excitement you bring, as far as the library, Timberlake, ELD, and just wonderful. I mean, this is probably my fourth or fifth brief, but I'm continuously blown away and amazed at the difference you make in people's life, not
Yes.
at the children's level, middle adult, and elderly. I mean,
Yes.
it's just a wonderful
Yes.
attribute and contribution to this community, and we thank you immensely for
Thank
what
you.
you do.
We are in our communities next year, 50 years,
Oh
celebrating
my
50 years.
gosh,
So
that
big
is
birthday
great.
bash next year.
That's
Yes.
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your
Thanks,
time.
Cheryl.
You bet.
Okay.
Come on back.
September, usually.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. So the next item we have is from the Washington Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, and I think Ramiro Chavez or Mr. Wayne Hilton's going to take this.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'd like to introduce Mr. Wayne Hilton. He's the area chair of Washington Employer Support and the Guard and Reserve. Welcome, Wayne.
Thank you. Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve is the primary volunteer organization that works with Guard and Reserve members, their units, their families, their employers, and the communities in which we volunteer. In this state, we have approximately 94 volunteers spread over 7 different committees. In my case, I'm responsible for the areas between Chehalis and Port Angeles. I have approximately 6,300 Guard and Reserve members in that area. Nationally, since 9/11, we've had 930,006 Guard and Reserve members activated for the war on terrorism. One of the things that we do is employer awards. The highest award that can be presented to an employer or awarded to an employer in the nation is called the Secretary of Defense Freedom Award. There's only 15 of those awarded every year, 5 large business, 5 small business, and 5 public entities. It starts with a nomination from a Guard or Reserve member to or for their employer. And then that goes to our committees. In my case, I led that effort this year, putting in about 800 hours, screening that. That went to a state awards board where we screened all those and brought them down, and we were allowed to submit to the National Award Board 6 entries, 2 in each category. In this state, there was 3,060 entries that went to the National Awards Board. In this state, we submitted the 6. It was pared down. The first paring down went from 3,060 to 148. In that 148, our 6 entries stood. The closest to us was New Hampshire with 2.
Oh, my word.
So our entries in large business category was primary T-Mobile and secondary a little company called Amazon.
Yeah.
In the small business was a dental supply manufacturer in Woodinville called Anseptico, and a drone manufacturer in Vancouver called Agentech, who supplies drones to the military and operators. And one of the interesting things about their paperwork is when a Guard or Reserve member needs to do their reserve duty, the company flies them back to the States for their reserve duty and supplies a backfill for the troops in the field. In the public entities, the primary was Washington State Labor and Industries. And the secondary or alternate was West Pierce Fire and Safety, University Place Lakewood Fire Department. So all 6 of those made it and are classed as semifinalists for the Secretary of Defense Freedom Award. One of the other entities that was nominated this year is a place called Thurston County. And I have a letter written by John Patterson, who is the state chair. He says, on behalf of the National Committee for Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, I'd like to congratulate you on being nominated for the 2017 Secretary of Defense Employer Support Freedom Award by one of your Citizen Warrior employees, Vivian Eason. The award was created to publicly recognize employers who provide exceptional support to their employees who serve in the National Guard and the Reserve. The award is the highest in a series of ESGR awards that include the Patriot Award, the Above and Beyond Award, and the Pro Patria Award. America continues to rely heavily on the Guard and Reserve to answer the call of duty. Our military could not perform the duties of protecting the nation, conducting combat operations, or providing humanitarian aid around the globe without your continued support. America's employers are intricately linked to our national security. Therefore, it's my pleasure to forward you this certificate. This is the Secretary of Defense Freedom Award participant. We thank you very much. We hope that your Guard and Reserve members nominate you again next year. We'd like to sit down and work with you on a one-on-one basis with a volunteer. You may know that our state awards chair is a guy named Bert Backman, who is a World War II volunteer member, a retired Navy chief that lives right across the freeway over behind the old brewery, up by the cemetery there. So he was the original ESGR volunteer in this state. So if I may present that.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
I got this, so we can get a photo with you.
All right.
Here, you get there, you're in the middle. The boss.
You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Is it working?
Yeah, okay, keep playing with it.
And if I might get you a card here, if you could send me a copy of that, we will post that on the National Guard website and the National DOD website. Okay?
You want to say something? Sure.
Say, I do have one question,
Mr. Hilton,
sir.
yeah, sure, come back.
How can we get higher on the list next year?
That's what the volunteer was.
One, I'd be happy to sit down with the county manager and spend a few minutes and go through some of the things that make a winning entry. At any time, the nomination period starts 1 October and ends 31 December, so we have time to work on that. But the nomination was pretty good. We can make it better.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'd just like to take a moment to thank the Master Sergeant Vivian Eason for stepping up and doing this. It's typical of her to be proactive in something like this. We thank you, sir, for coming here and presenting the award to us on behalf of the Washington Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve. We absolutely love the Guard and Reserve, not only here in our country for what they do for security, nationwide, regionally, but building families and homes and communities that in their non-Guard and Reserve time, and they get double tapped, as we say in the military, and it's just phenomenal, some of the things they pull off in terms of service to the country and service to the county, and we absolutely love them and bless them from the bottom of our heart. With that in mind, we'll move on to the next item, which is the first item on the agenda, which is the opportunity for the public to address the board. Do I have all the signature pieces here? And so with the rules of this, as we go along, is I have 3 sheets here, and she's going to get the rest of the sheets, and I'm going to go down those who've checked yes, and I'll call you up in order that you signed up, and then you are going to get 3 minutes to be able to speak. And then I'm going to ask Labanita to explain the rules of how the lighting system works, and at the 3-minute mark, and she will go through that real quick. Go ahead.
starts off with a green light.
That lasts for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You will then see a yellow light for 30 seconds. When you see the red light, it means your time is up.
Okay.
Practicing.
Okay, the first person I have on my list is Mr. Dean Smith. Hi, Dean, how you doing? Come on up here and talk to us for about 3 minutes. Yep.
Good afternoon. My name is Dean Smith.
Tell us where you're from in the county, sorry.
Yes, 7711 119th Lane, Southwest, up off Little Rock.
Sure.
I'm here today. First of all, I want to thank you guys commissioners for allowing us to speak and listening to our needs. For years now, we've been trying to get recycled asphalt down in our Durgan Road facility. I'm here today representing the 55 employees that work for me and their families. We've got a lot of people that are going to speak on our behalf. It's not just Lakeside, it's important to us, but it's the cities, the counties, and the people we do business with, subcontractors that buy our product, and everybody's in support of that in there. So I want to thank you guys for allowing us to speak, and we want to be on Tier 1, and as a standalone, we feel we've been fighting this battle for years, and we just like to get it pushed through. So thank you.
Thank you for your words. Okay, next person I have is Mr. Gregory McClure. Hello, sir. How you doing there?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Gregory Allen McClure, 15120 Ryan Court, Southwest Tenino, Washington, 98589. I'm here as the Vice President of the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 612, and as such, here to encourage Thurston County to make room on the Tier 1 planning docket for Lakeside Industries. Local 612 has had the opportunity to meet with each of you in the past and discuss your unique experiences as they relate to labor relations. Consider worst-case scenarios where there is a complete breakdown in labor relations. Consider this as I share with you why Local 612 knows Lakeside Industries is special. As I attempted to understand the nature of Lakeside Industries' business model, I came across this one document signed by Tim Lee, CEO, and Mike Lee, the president of Lakeside Industries. The title of this communication is People Make Us Special. At Lakeside Industries, our personal goal and professional responsibility is to contribute to the betterment of people, our employees, customers, and communities. Being family-owned means more than just having third-generation Lee family members at the helm. Family-owned means our employees and their 700 families are part of the Lakeside family and are owed the trust and tools they need to be successful, providing our customers with exceptional service they deserve. When you build your business around people, you value hard work, collaboration, and craftsmanship. Like every industry, ours will continue to change and evolve over time. But we won't change our commitment. We won't change our commitment each other and the communities we serve. Our promise, we will always work to provide a foundation for our families, our customers, and our communities because people make us successful. Signed, Tim Lee, CEO, Mike Lee, President, Lakeside Industries. This value that Tim and Mike Lee have shared is testament to the nature of their humanity and their innovative contributions Lakeside Industries continues to express. In conclusion, if Thurston County is interested in a highly productive business relationship such as the one that Local 612 enjoys with Lakeside Industries, take the appropriate steps to place Lakeside Industries on the Tier 1 planning docket. Thank you.
Thank you for your words, sir. The next person I have on my list is Mr. Ron Simpson. Simpson, I'm so sorry, sir.
Thanks, Commissioners.
One second, sir, 1 second. She has to reload her batteries.
Oh, we do.
Pause.
Had a recording malfunction.
No one's watching.
Do we need a programmer or somebody to do code?
No, I think we're
The
good now.
library has some people.
You're good. All right, in the green light? And so, okay, go ahead, sir, and state where you're kind of from in the county.
My name is Ron Simonson, and I live in the Wilderness Development in Mr. Hutchings' district. And we purchased in 2006 a lot at Field of Dreams in Mr. Blake's district.
Okay.
We hope that would be our retirement place to build. It's all built out. There are only 3 lots left, and ours is one of them. In 2008, the recession hit, and we said, okay, we just need to hold on here a bit. So in 2015, we went back to the county, resource stewardship now, and we said, well, actually, let me go back. This lot has a fence, you know, these white fences that have the signs that say wetlands buffer boundary. So in 2006, when we were doing a feasibility study, I went to the county and says, hey, I'm concerned about this, you know, is this the limit of the wetlands? And they said, sent us an email and said, rely on the fences as the boundary of the wetlands buffer. So great, so we made the purchase. 2015, went in and said, okay, we're getting ready to build. They said, well, we got this gopher regulation. So you need to have an application and have a gopher review. And so we submitted that and received that, and expired in October 2016. Last year, we went to the county and said, okay, we're ready to build. We need to have, confirm our setbacks. They said, wait a minute, you've got wetlands nearby, and it's a 200-foot buffer now. And I said, whoa, 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 we've got a fence there. It says, here's the limits of the wetlands. And they said, well, they were very polite, very professional, but said, that was then, and this is now. And so you can't build on your property. And so the wetlands buffer apparently encumbers the entire property. So we're stuck. The only method that they've given us is through the RUEX process, which is, as you know, a $5,000 fee, $3,000 in environmental studies, and a long process, and it's a hearing process. So that's it. So we were shocked. There was no warning of this, no, you know, nothing in the previous statement that said, hey, this might expire, this wetlands buffer may change, and so we're kind of stuck. What I'm asking is you go through the critical areas review process, is that for island properties like this that are surrounded by development, where the houses are all around our property except for in front, that you consider a way to make this a type 1 or type 2 administrative review rather than going to a hearings-based process. Because the hearings-based process is long, it's expensive, and there's no certainty of outcome. It's entirely based upon what the hearings examiner wants to do. Yet this property is a residential lot. It's designed for, it's a conforming legal lot that needs a house on it. So I have a letter here that explains a little bit more detail, gives you some information about the property, which I will give to Mr. Chavez.
Thank you for telling your story today, sir. All righty, I have Mr. Wayne Hilton next here, but I think that, okay, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure. So the next person on my list is Mr. Tim Thompson. Is Tim in the audience? There you go, sir. Hello, sir. Can you pull the mic down just a little bit there? There you go.
Are you implying that I'm not tall enough to reach
No,
that?
no, just want to hear you. I want to hear what you have to say. Just
I think that would be an accurate depiction.
Yeah.
I didn't get the growth gene.
Sure, just state where you're from in the county a little bit.
My name is Tim Thompson. I'm a consultant to Lakeside, and I reside in Tacoma, Washington. For purposes of today, I have a stack of letters, and I think what I would like to do is just give a brief overview of what's contained in them. I actually note that in 1992, the Thurston County Department of Public Health Social Health Department actually suggested for the RAP facility to proceed forward based on environmental purposes. They didn't find any impacts. But I also just wanted to give you a flavor for some of the testimony that you'll read in these in behalf of moving Lakeside's agenda to the Tier 1 docket. One is that we have a letter from former Congressman Dix, who actually has spent 40 years appropriating and funding riparian needs of all of the basin, including a wildlife refuge, the process of opening up the delta, the issue of locating a fish hatchery, and he summarizes and says, I respect the difficulty of elected officials in making land use decisions. However, I have found there is never a good excuse to not granting an environmental review and following the science tells us about the risks and benefits of decisions that affect our land, water, and air. I would urge you to listen to WashDOT, DOE, ORCA, the Nisqually Tribe, the City of Olympia, the labor and business community, and move forward to move Lakeside's application to Tier 1. We have two nationally respected scientists from the Northwest Marine Technology that has testified today and written a letter, has testified before, and they summarize and says, we would ask that you reverse over a decade of bad policy and making on the previous commission and put the Lakeside Industries projects on Tier 1 for scientific purposes. We also have a note from a former director of the Department of Fish and Wildlife, Kurt Smitch, who also served as the Assistant Regional Director of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. All of these people, by the way, are residents of Thurston County and live in Olympia. And he summarizes in his letter, the current Thurston County Board of Commissioners has the opportunity to correct the failure of the previous commission to use science and transparency and restore public confidence in our system of government by putting Lakeside's petition on the Tier 1 planning docket. Thank you for your consideration. Finally, we have a letter from the Nisqually Indian Tribe, their lead Natural Resource Director, David Trout, who stated in July of 2015, the Nisqually Indian Tribe supports the scope of the environmental review and process being proposed for the potential modification of the Nisqually Subarea Text Amendment to the Nisqually Subarea Plan that currently prohibits the use of RAP. What I would just submit is that we have an opportunity not to look backwards and talk about the errors in the past, but I would make the case that if there was a case to be made for due process, that basically supports the notion of conducting SEPA and NEPA reviews on any proposed amendment. We need to do right by everyone, not just some, not just because we have a personal feeling. We need to follow the laws and the processes that we have to make informed decisions. I greatly appreciate you in swift order taking this up just to get the facts and the merits out, and I applaud your efforts and your consideration. Mm-hmm. And with that, I'd like to submit this for the record.
Yeah, just give it to the county manager. Mm-hmm. And thank you for your words today. Okay, so the next person I have is Phyllis Farrell. Hello, Phyllis.
Good afternoon,
Good to see you.
Thank you for having me. My name is Phyllis Farrell, and I live at 7600 Red Start Drive Southeast in unincorporated Thurston County. And I'd like to make comments on the review process that you have been studying for permitting. I'd urge you to exercise caution in the policies you adopt in granting permits for development in our county. While some landowners would like the ability to subdivide and develop their property, new exempt wells may jeopardize current water right users and groundwater levels that could affect in-stream flows through our waterways, which affect salmon habitat and recovery. Development of land that might contain habitat of endangered species is also not advisable. While the restrictions may seem very frustrating to those affected landowners, you must not be pressured to violate the law by a vocal minority of permit applicants. Recent court decisions have determined that under the Growth Management Act, counties must assure that water be available before issuing permits. This seems an obvious requirement based on common sense and fairness to current water right holders. However, if this is a change in the past practice of granting permits to encourage growth and development, it may be hard to accept a more conservative policy of sustainable growth and development. Any discussion that ignores the court decisions and the requirements of current law seems ill-advised, making you and the county liable for incorrectly issued permits. We look to our elected officials to uphold the law and protect our county's land and water resources for all its citizens. People who object to the restrictions should not rail at you, the county commissioners, for doing your job, but look to the authorities with jurisdiction, in some cases our state legislature, and in the case of situation with endangered species, with the federal authorities. You must uphold the laws and court decisions, and the court decisions are based on the laws which reflect the will of the people. Thank you for your attention and your service to our county. We really do appreciate what you do. Thanks.
Thank you for speaking out today. Thank you. All righty, Mr. Bob Gunther is next. Hello, Bob.
Well, good afternoon, Commissioners. I really appreciate being here. I'm the president of the Thurston Lewis Mason Central Labor Council. I live in Chehalis, 376 State Route 508. Our Labor Council represents nearly 20,000 workers in the 3 counties. And I'm here today to ask that you consider the science and consider hearing on Tier 1 the Lakeside proposal. After all, you know, our roads affect us all. Whether we work for industry or not, it affects us all. And our jobs, we're really fortunate to have a company like Lakeside to employ our members. So I won't take any more time, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
No,
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming today, sir. All right, next person is Mr. David Shafford. Hello, David. It's good to see you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm David Shafford, President and CEO of the Thurston County Chamber. The Chamber offices are at 809 Legion in downtown Olympia. Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to make comments. The Chamber provided written and oral comments in 2014 on Lakeside Industries' efforts to be a Tier 1 docket priority. Today, we ask the same, that you, in partnership with Lakeside Industries, to place the proposal amendment to operate a recycled asphalt plant on the Thurston County's Tier 1 planning docket. I think I will forward you a written comment as well, but there are 3 primary areas, I think, for your consideration. First, Lakeside's been very patient. Maybe that might be an understatement. The efforts to have the consideration of their business plan is going on 10 years. The lengthy effort is really not conducive in business relationships with the county, and we cited that in 2014. And today, I think it's important that you make a decision on how you wanted to work with business in our community. The resource of recycled asphalt, and for that matter, any aggregate, we need to have local resources for that. The cost of hauling and the cost to the environment with extra miles on our roads, and the cost to economic development in both public and private projects significantly goes up when you have to truck in, especially that aggregate that is called for within contracts and you're restricted. And lastly, Lakeside is a quality employer. There are quality wage jobs. I'm very proud to be part of a coalition of labor and people that want quality jobs in our community. The trades jobs are critical to our citizens and really a big fabric and part of our workforce in our community. So with that, again, the Chamber encourages your support and continuation effort in getting on the docket. Thank you. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No, thank you for your words today, sir. Okay, Mr. Timothy Lee. Hello, Mr. Lee.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Timothy Lee, and I am the CEO of Lakeside Industries. You're going to hear a lot of testimony on our behalf today because this is an issue that affects a lot of families. But here's a few interesting facts concerning Lakeside's request to use RAP, or recycled asphalt pavements, at their asphalt plant located within the Nisqually subarea. The Nisqually subarea plan was adopted in November of 1992 and includes language prohibiting the recycling of asphalt, which arose out of a concern that the Thurston County Health Department had with recycling and water quality. About 1 month later, the Thurston County Health Department wrote a new letter dated December 15th, 1992. Now, this was a long time ago. I'll now read the important excerpt from that letter. Our department has taken the approach that a waste asphalt recycling operation presents none to very minimal environmental health concerns. That was 92, it's now 2017. Lakeside began permitting the Durgan Road plant in July of 1997, which was, by the way, a permitted use according to the Thurston County Code. Lakeside finally was issued its permit in October 2004 after several rounds of court battles with Thurston County and millions of dollars. In December of 2005, Lakeside first applied for minor text amendment to the Thurston County Comprehensive Plan Nisqually Subarea Policy and has continually applied for that change since 2005. In January of 2010, the Thurston County Health Department did a water quality study of stormwater runoff from recycled asphalt. The January 22nd, 2010 letter states, "At this time, it does not appear that recycled asphalt material is contributing pollution via stormwater runoff." So for over 24 years, the Nisqually Valley Subarea Plan has had language prohibiting the recycling of asphalt, even after the concern was retracted by the Health Department over 24 years ago. In a study conducted by that Health Department, that RAP does not contribute to the pollution of stormwater. Thurston County, in fact, encourages and allows recycling of asphalt everywhere in the county. And Thurston County even has permitted, contrary to the Nisqually Subarea Plan, recycling asphalt in the Nisqually Valley, just not at Lakeside.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you to kind of wrap it up real quick, okay?
Okay. So it's time to put Lakeside's request on the Tier 1 docket. Let us prove both the economic and the environmental benefits of recycling asphalt. We've been asking for that opportunity for over 12 years. It's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you for your words, sir. All righty, Mr. J. Pat Thompson, there you go. Hi, sir.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. By way of introduction, my name is James Patrick Thompson, and I'm here as the Deputy Director for the Washington State Council of County and City Employees. I reside in Everett, Washington.
Okay, good.
The 17,000 local government employees represent across the state. We're very proud and honored to represent 500 members here that work directly for Thurston County and are members of Local 618. Two of those members have taken their own time to come here today to support that issue, and they have letters that they've submitted in the packet that you received. As public employees, we recognize the vital role that a strong private sector economy plays in building a strong, vibrant community. In 2014, we stood before the former Board of Commissioners with our fellow union members from the operating engineers, the laborers, and the Teamsters to share our frustration over the then 8-year delay to advance this request. It's been 2 more years, and now we're at 10. This is a good company, creating good union jobs that represent a good environmental policy. So we do ask for your efforts to move this project forward. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Nope, thank you for your words, sir.
Thank you.
All righty. Michelle Hawkins, hi. You.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Michelle Hawkins Brigham.
Can you bring the mic down just a little bit?
Okay.
There you go.
My name is Michelle Hawkins Brigham, and I live outside of Yelm, Washington. In a presentation to commissioners on March 15, the WSLCB mentioned they mostly rely on neighbors to inform about criminal behavior. However, NIMBYs was the name applied to those who complain about commercial Schedule I drug operations entering their community. I find that an extremely short-sighted, derogatory, and unfair label to give to concerned and frightened citizens. There were major flaws in this presentation in regards to safety of residents. WSLCB marijuana applications are only processed through photographs. Officers never visit a proposed site until a final inspection. They do not look at anything else on the property or in the surrounding neighborhood. They only inspect the marijuana site area being awarded a license. Therefore, more than one application has been licensed on the same property. It was stated that 50% of crime has been reduced by legalization. I would say more like 25%, because how many licenses are rewarding criminal behavior that is being ignored or going unnoticed? It was stated an application would be denied where facts had been misrepresented. Yet questioned further about hundreds of untagged marijuana plants observed on a property, Officer Macias said WSLCB only intervenes when someone has received a license. This is a major loophole in Catch-22 to impacted neighborhoods. He also said after the meeting that shutting down an illegal operation was up to resource stewardship. However, if stewards have not had time to properly review a file or visit an intended site at the time of a special land use permit application to verify there are no violations, what hope of protection of their property and water rights do neighboring residents have? None, it would seem. The finger is pointing in both directions while innocent neighborhoods are suffering in this quagmire and called NIMBYs, or a pain, by those who are supposed to protect. In August, it took 100 days to receive public records from the WSLCB because more than 400 concerned citizens were submitting requests. Today, records cannot be received until 2018. How then is one able to prove factual misrepresentation? Residents of Thurston County will never be safe from criminal activity when commercial marijuana operations are located in rural residential agricultural areas. Neighboring property owners can become landlocked with only an 8-foot wide entrance to their property as their means of escape, in full view of 70 to 150 workers at some operations. How can their families possibly feel secure? Stewards have not always inspected a site to no violations or reviewed WSLCB applications before giving their approval. What hope then do neighboring residents have to object to this behavior when known misrepresentation of facts is condoned, despite photographic evidence and public testimony? Are impacted citizens expected to continually risk their lives by being forced to live next to such dangerous operations, or for revealing the truth? And I have some documents for each of you. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for your testimony, ma'am. Go ahead and give them to the county manager. That'd be great.
Will you take one of these?
Just go ahead and give
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll get them. I promise you. We're going to read them after we get out of here. Thank you. Okay, so the next person I have is Mr. James Brigham. Yes, sir. Now we got to raise the mic. There you go.
Greetings. My name is James Brigham.
Sure.
I'm a geotechnical engineer with 40 years' experience, past president of the American Society of Civil Engineers, Tacoma Olympia section. I didn't come here to talk about Lakeside, but I do want to say that they have a great reputation in the community and that recycled asphalt is a very valuable material in the geotechnical, for use in geotechnical applications. But let's talk about pot. I took time off of work the other morning to listen to the WSLCB present to you, and sounds very good what they said to you, but I just want to say that my experience is in direct opposition. There's a great deal of difference between what they said and what they do. I've been told that they lost liquor and that they're having a revenue problem, and that would explain why they seem so intent on licensing as many of these operations as possible with very little due diligence. So it would also explain why their enforcement seems to be so lax. And what they will say is that it's up to Thurston County to do the due diligence. And I can say that my experience with Thurston County Planning is that they are also very challenged to do due diligence. So what comes down to is that it's the commissioners that are protecting the neighbors. If these operations are so agricultural, why do they have to be surrounded by chain link fences, security cameras, barbed wire, et cetera? They do not belong in rural residential areas. So I will conclude with a line from Star Wars when Princess Leia says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." And that's what you are to rural residents of Thurston County. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, James. Very kind of you to get us the Princess Leia status there. Yeah, okay. Next, I have Steve and Debbie McLean.
Good afternoon.
Sure.
We would hope to have a home just south of the airport. We have property there that we can't build on because for some reason the county and the federal government can't agree on how to help us move forward in dealing with gopher habitat. So we are continuing to wait for a decision. Month after month, we're promised you're going to act. You're going to make a decision. Saturday, we have to move out of our rental because we assumed by now we'd be moving into our new home, but we can't even start it yet. We're having to try and rent a house for an unknown period of time because you can't make a decision about whether to adopt a policy to allow us to move forward. You've had a draft policy for over 3 weeks now. That policy says that all you're going to do is accept an easement, which I have total liability to maintain, which I have to submit to you to request an inspection once a year to verify that I'm maintaining that as gopher habitat, as the federal government requires. And all you have to do is send someone out there. It looked like today you just hired a bunch of employees. Maybe one of them could come out for 10 minutes and inspect our property to see that nothing's changed. Today, last week, we were here testifying, and Mr. Chavez said to us, we're going to bring this to the board next week, today, for a decision. We're standing here today understanding that you're not making a decision today, that you're choosing to put this off for another 3 weeks. One promise after another, one political person after another comes in, and I know that the seats have changed, but it's going to be April. Those seats changed in January. It's April, and we're still waiting. We started working with your predecessors and with you, Mr. Blake, long before that. And no action, no decision, and we're standing here today just to ask you to make a decision. If it's no, then it gives us a chance to move on and do something else with our lives instead of paying someone else rent. If it's yes, we can finally build a house that we've been waiting for over a year now.
I just had one thing. I was in the round table this morning, and while I heard the next 2 public hearings are going to be canceled or were canceled because there were no agenda items. But that wasn't true because we are an agenda item. And then I was told when I asked about it that you won't come together for just one agenda item. So what kind of message is that to a citizen, to a constituent who's been waiting this long? That's all I have to say.
Thank you both for your words. Next person I have is Mr. John Hempelman.
Good afternoon, members of the commission. My name is John Hempelman. I'm a land use and planning lawyer, and my office is at 524 2nd Avenue in Seattle. Thanks for making time for us today to talk about the Lakeside Amendment. I am the land use counsel for Lakeside Industries. Proud to be helping that team do the right thing. So over the last 30 years, I've probably worked on well over 1,000 land use and planning issues. I only get hired when it's complicated. I'll tell you that the Lakeside issue is probably the least complicated matter that I've had to address in the last 30 years. It's really a very simple issue from both a planning perspective and from a scientific perspective, where the evidence is conclusive and overwhelming. So what Lakeside asks, of course, is that you put the matter on the Tier 1 agenda so you can finally get to it. I'm here also to tell you that with Lakeside support, I am prepared to help the department, Mr. Butler, your county manager. I'm in communication with Travis Burns, your deputy prosecuting attorney. Any of the resources that the county needs to process the Lakeside application after all these years, Lakeside will make that available to the county. I'm here to be part of that resource to do the technical and legal work necessary to get it done. Now, you've heard a lot of support today, and there's a lot of material in the record. I just got a letter today that isn't in the county record yet, but it's from Roger Millar, who's the Washington State Secretary of Transportation. I'm just going to read one or two sentences from it because it's directed to Allison at the Thurston County Resource Stewardship Department, and it's in support of the county considering the Lakeside Amendment. Here's what the Secretary of Transportation says to the county, just a short part of the letter. The Washington State Department of Transportation strongly supports the use of RAP throughout the state. Asphalt pavement is the most recycled material in the country today, far exceeding other materials, and the asphalt industry remains the country's #1 recycler. Here's a fact that is really startling, and you're going to ask yourself why this is a fact. As far as we know, across all of America, there is one place in one county that prohibits the use of recycled asphalt product. That's Thurston County at the Durgan Road plant. So you're going to want to be asking, why is this the only place in the country where that's the case? So I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to work with the county manager and the resource stewardship director and his staff and the county prosecuting attorney to get this done.
Thank you for your testimony, sir. And so I have Mr. Clayton Hill. Is Clayton Hill in the audience? Clayton F. Hill? Clayton A. Hill? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just ask if there's anybody that would like to come to the podium and that was or was not on this list. 'Cause some people checked no and I didn't call their name. But if there's still last chance for anybody to come to the podium. Going once, twice, and go ahead, sir. Just state your name and where you're from in the county.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners. My name is Gregory Moe. I live in Northeast Thurston County. I wasn't expecting to speak today about Lakeside Industries, but I am wholly in support of the RAP program and the Tier 1 elevation. I've been I'm a retired International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, so I know how it is to work in organized labor. I've been president of the Thurston County Realtors Association a couple times, and I've been in this business for about 19 years, and I'm sure over that time period that I've helped at least one Lakeside employee purchase a home. I can tell you that a home is where a job goes every night, and I'll bet you they drive on asphalt roads. Thank you.
Thank you for your words. And last time, is there Mr. Clayton Hill in here? Nope. Okay, good. We're going to go on to our next agenda item, which is the county manager's update.
Thank you, Commissioners. I just have a couple of updates. Just a reminder, there is not a board meeting next week, which is March 28th, because of the lack of agenda items. And also, there is not a board meeting on April 4th, which is not going to be a quorum. 2 commissioners will be out of the office during that week. So the next Board of County Commissioners meeting will be April 11th.
Okay, great. All right, we're going to move on to our consent items, which you have consent items A through F, and I'll take a motion to for the consent items.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve consent items A through F.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and second to accept and approve or adopt the consent items A through F. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So the first departmental item we have on here is from the auditor.
She's on her way.
Okay.
Okay.
Here she is.
All right. Yeah, I see.
That's in slow.
And it's Mary Hall, and she's gonna give us information on a public hearing for Tuesday, April 11th. Mary? Yep, right up here.
Thank you,
Pull the mic down.
Commissioners, for allowing me to come here today. I'm here to ask the board to set a public meeting, a public hearing at 3 p.m. April 11th on our proposed precinct changes. Every year, due to city annexations or other factors, we're required to make small adjustments to our precincts. State law requires that we have a public hearing. Sorry, I just walked up a flight of stairs. I ran, actually. So the changes are due to one city annexation, and we also have a precinct size limit in state law that precincts can't exceed 1,500 registered voters. So the precincts are getting close to exceeding that limit, so we need to split a couple of precincts in the Yelm area. So we are hosting an open house where anybody who is interested in viewing these changes can come and meet with us. It's going to be March 30th, 5:30 p.m. in this room, in room 280. We'll also be posting information on our website. We'll have maps and things like that if people would like to take a look at them. And they can go to our website at thurstonvotes.org or give us a call at 360-786-5408. Any questions?
Any questions?
The number in each precinct, it's how many
State
before you
law-
split?
State law says you can't exceed 1,500
15, okay.
registered voters. And it's quite common following presidential years because you have, you know, large increases of voter registration and of course population shifts due to development. So it's not uncommon to have to readjust precinct lines or split precincts the year following a presidential election.
No.
Just a little bit more background information, if you will, to the number of precincts that are involved and kind of give a geographic location, say in your, best of your memory, in the north, south, rural versus urban kind of piece. To kind
The
of give some,
precincts that need to be split are in the Yelm area around Clear Lake. And then we had one city annexation, I believe it was, Seth? Do we know which city? Oh, corner of Henderson and Yelm Highway, where the nursery was.
okay.
So that area.
So is
And there are rules in state law too that you can't have precincts cross city boundaries. So when we have city annexations, we adjust those precincts to make that annexation part of the city precinct, which is what we plan to do.
Okay.
And you try to keep school districts intact in one precinct?
We try not to cross school district boundaries, however, legally you can cross school district
Yeah,
boundaries.
but you try to avoid that.
Right, because that just creates an extra ballot for that precinct.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Just for the record, can you repeat the open house day and time and stuff? So.
The open house is going to be held March 30th at 5:30 p.m. It's going to be in this room.
At the Building 1 courthouse.
Right, Building 1, room 280.
Okay.
And our request for the public hearing would be at 3 p.m. on April 11th.
All righty. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to set a public hearing for Tuesday, April 11, 2017, at 3 p.m. at the Thurston County Courthouse, Building 1, in room 280, to consider public testimony regarding proposed precinct boundary changes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mary. So the next item we have is Mr. Michael Fenton. He's going to talk to us about the approval for a contract with CYS and the FJC, the Family Juvenile Diversion Services. Yeah. Hi, Michael.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Hello.
Yes, we are here today seeking approval to waive the requirements of the county's procurement policy and allow us to move forward with a contract to provide juvenile detention services with community youth services. Community youth services provided juvenile detention services for over 35 years, and we're just interested in renewing that contract today.
Any questions of Mike?
And you're going along with state law the way it's laid out?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we consulted with Sam Berkey on this process, and he indicated that this was the proper procedure to follow the policy.
Anybody, any comments? Questions?
No, I do not.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion for the juvenile court probation.
Mr. Chair, I move to waive the requirements of the Thurston County procurement policy under item 6G. Move to approve the contract with Community Youth Services in the amount of $293,703 for the period of January 1, 2017 through December 31st, 2019, to provide juvenile diversion services in accordance with the RCW 13.40.080, and move to authorize the juvenile court administrator to sign the contract.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The next item is from Public Works, and we have, I think, Mr. Rick Thomas, yeah? And talk about funding for a board project agreement, huh?
Yes, sir.
Sure. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much this afternoon, Commissioners.
Can you pull your mic in and up a little bit? There you go.
A little better to hear. All right. What we have before us today is asking you to consider approving the board project agreement from the Washington State Recreation and Conservation Office in the amount of $65,000. This project is set up to provide pre-design and study services for the Hunter Point Road Northwest Steamboat Island Peninsula, where the county crews put in a temporary repair of a 48-inch culvert in 2015. Again, just emphasizing that it is a temporary fix. In addition to that, this study will allow the county to do a study to see if we can put the scope together to take the block out of the stream that's there in order to allow fish passage. So that's our proposal for today.
Fish passage, you got some comment about that?
Good, sounds good.
Okay, good. We want fish passage on Hunter Road.
Thank you.
I'm
sorry.
Yes. No.
Okay, he's going to give a motion first, okay?
All right.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the funding board project agreement 16-1568P, Paul, from the Washington State Recreation and Conservation Office for an amount not to exceed $65,000, and to authorize the Director of Public Works to execute the project agreement.
I'll second that.
Just a comment, super excited about restoring this as far as the fish patches, and look forward to the outcome. We can come back and brief us on that, right?
That is correct.
So it's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And so we have also from Public Works, Mr. Matt Unzelman. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you. Matt Unzelman, Thurston County Public Works, civil engineer. In January, the current Board of Commissioners gave permission to the Director of Public Works to sign a local agency agreement with WashDOT to release $1.35 million in federal construction funding. We were also given permission to call for sealed bids. However, prior to advertisement, we are requesting the board to sign a design prospectus for the board to sign a prospectus that needs to be agreed upon with the Washington State Department of Transportation. The prospectus states that this project is an extension of the previous Rich Road project. The project will improve safety for drivers, pedestrians, and bicyclists. Project improvements include replacing the roadway with 12-foot travel lanes and a 6-foot shoulder in each direction. The original project prospectus was signed by the Board of County Commissioners in 2011. But as part of the construction authorization package that gets sent to WashDOT for approval, they're requesting an updated project prospectus to be signed.
And that's going to require that the board chair sign that, right?
That is correct.
I'm in trouble now. Okay. We can do it. Nothing? Take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve and sign the project prospectus for Rich Road Southeast Phase 2 project, CRP number 61460.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt. It's good to see you. Okay, we're going to move on to resource stewardship, and so this is Jeremy Davis. How you doing, Jeremy? Come on to the podium and let us know about the public hearing we're looking forward to.
Good afternoon, Chair Blake, Commissioners. Jeremy Davis, Resource Stewardship, Senior Planner with Long Range Planning. So today I'm here to request the Board of County Commissioners set a public hearing to amend Title 25 impact fees to add fire authorities to that authorization. In September of 2016, the board amended Title 25 to allow the county to collect impact fees on behalf of fire districts. Fire authorities were not specifically included in that. Fire authorities under state law are actually an aggregate of very different fire districts that come together to provide mutual protection. And so the proposed date on that is April 25th for 3 p.m. And just for the board's information, on those impact fees, what you would be doing is authorizing the county to collect them on behalf. That funding is immediately transferred to the fire district upon receipt at the permit counter. Those fees could not be collected until the county receives a compliant capital facilities plan from the fire authority, and also after the board amends the the Thurston County impact fee schedule to add the fee.
Okay, any questions of Jeremy?
Jeremy, that's, and it can't be collected until it's voted on by residents of those particular fire districts, right? And
With
fire
the
authority?
with the impact fee, no, that doesn't go to the voters necessarily like a levy would. What a fire district does is they put together a capital facilities plan that has to lay out all the facilities that they're planning to do in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And then they have to develop a fee that covers a proportionate share of that facility that the new development would create, the impact the development would create.
Was this an oversight by the other board when they didn't include fire authorities because they didn't recognize those consolidations?
Yes, sir. This
Okay.
was considered an oversight at the time.
Okay, that's it.
Any comments? No? With that, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to set a public hearing for April 25, 2017, at 3 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard at the Thurston County Courthouse Building Number 1 in Room 280 to accept public comment on whether or not to amend Title 25 impact fees to allow the county to collect impact fees on behalf of fire authorities.
I'll second that.
So it's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jeremy. So we have next is Mr. Stephen Bromwell from the Washington State University, Extension in annual interagency agreement, right?
That's right. Yes, thank you, Chair Blake, and thank you, Commissioners. I'm here today, as you know, as the County Director for Thurston County Extension and the Agriculture Extension Agent. It's my pleasure to serve as a director and the go-between between Thurston County and Washington State University Extension. I'm here today to renew the annual interagency agreement that is a joint funding relationship between the county and WSU. So what we'll be requesting today is that you move to approve and execute an interagency agreement between WSU and Thurston County. This would authorize salary contributions to WSU County Extension staff and faculty in the amount of $131,236 and an additional operational contribution of $373,540. This agreement renews the longstanding relationship of jointly funding extension programs in Thurston County, and this contribution supports the agriculture program, 4-H program, Master Gardeners, the SNAP Ed program, a supplemental nutrition program, and the water resources program. Recently, I presented to you on the impact of county extension programs in 2016. We presented that several weeks back, and so you have some information about that in the 2016 impact report. Extension programs in Thurston County addressed about 26 of the 29 Thurston Thrives goals. Annually, 30,000 volunteers contribute about 30,000 hours to the county through the work they do for the Master Gardener, 4-H, SNAP Ed, and other programs, agriculture and water resources. The county funding is matched by a $380,000 contribution from WSU, and then about $150,000 in extramural funds that our individual programs raise through donations as well as through grants. And so we work to get an equal or somewhat compatible contribution from WSU as well as from Thurston County to create a joint funding partnership. This is all possible because of this collaboration between WSU, Thurston County, as well as the community in Thurston County, which so generously donates their volunteer time to work for our programs. And I look forward to continuing this joint funding relationship in 2017. You have the interagency agreement that we've developed for signature and approval if you choose to go that path.
Any questions?
Is part of this in-kind donations from the county?
From the county. These kind of, for the most part, no, but a lot of those contributions are contributions from, say, the county's contribution on WSU's behalf for housing, for internet, for communications, phone lines. So some of them are internal services rendered, essentially, so they're not all direct funding lines, but they're still meaningful funding lines in that you incur a cost of providing those services on WSU Extension's behalf.
That's it.
So that's why those figures are broken out separately.
That's correct. There's the interagency agreement for 131-236 are salary contributions, which cover portions of salary, and then WSU matches those with other contributions that are also salary contributions. So for instance, my salary is partially covered by both entities, and then that same relationship is broken down in slightly different ways for other program leads.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No.
Okay, sure. I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve and execute the annual interagency agreement between Thurston County and WSU Extension in the amount of $131,236 and approve the additional county contribution to WSU Extension in the amount of $373,540.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen.
It's a pleasure to work for you.
You bet. So we got Mr. Jeremy Davis again, not Jerry Davis.
Good afternoon again, Commissioners. Jeremy Davis, Thurston County Resource Stewardship, Long Range Planning. For the second item today, I'm here to request the board set another public hearing. This one is on the renewal of Ordinance 14944, which established interim regulations for cannabis/marijuana producers, processors, and retailers. This ordinance will expire on May 8th, 2017, if it's not renewed. Proposed changes to the ordinance would include a proposed cap on medical cannabis cooperatives. We heard some information last week at a briefing about cooperatives and have not heard of any applications for them in the county, but we wanted to make sure that should they come in, that there is a limit in place until the county has a chance to establish final regulations on them. Also proposed are some minor incursions into the setback for new uses. There are no proposed changes to the permitted zoning districts in the interim regulations. The county would continue to prohibit those in new ones, I should say, in the rural residential zoning districts, and basically we'd keep them all in the commercial and industrial zoning districts for now.
Any questions?
Oh, that's going to do it.
No,
Okay.
not now.
You have a motion then?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move to set a public hearing for April 25, 2017 at 5:30 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard at the Thurston County Courthouse Complex, Building Number 1, Room 280, to accept public comment on the renewal of ordinance number 14944 as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, sirs.
Thank you, Jeremy. So we'll move into the next item on our agenda, which is the Commissioners and County Managers item, which is item number 8, and it's the approval of a 2017 interlocal agreement by Robin Campbell.
Thank you, Commissioner. This afternoon, I am asking that the board approve the interlocal agreement for 2017 between Thurston County and the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization. And this is specifically for programs that will be paid for with treatment sales tax funding. The BHO provides treatment for mental health, chemical dependency, and these treatment sales tax dollars are used for programs and clients that don't qualify for Medicaid or other funding from the federal or state governments. So this is basically gap funding, and this is approximately $1.5 million that will be spent this year.
Any questions or comment?
No.
No. I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve an interlocal agreement between the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners and the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization that provides chemical dependency and mental health treatment programs and services during the period January 1, 2017 through December 31, 2017, for an amount not to exceed $1,580,173, to ratify all the services that have been performed to date, and to authorize the Assistant County Manager to sign the interlocal agreement.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. You bet. Thank you. Just for a note, I'm going to plow through the remaining ones here before we go into the Transportation Benefit District, even if it goes about 5 or 6 minutes over, okay? So the next item is rescind Resolution 15397, and that's with Romero Chavez.
Thank you, Commissioners. This resolution before you is related to the franchise agreement the county has with the Comcast company. This particular franchise agreement was amended back in December 13, 2016 by resolution number 15396. That particular resolution had some errors that needs to be corrected. As a matter of background, Comcast Customer Services location was previously located at the 440 Yager Way, Southeast Olympia, Washington, and that is reflected in the current franchise agreement with Comcast. Comcast since has relocated its customer services to a different location, and they provided proper notice to the customers as well as the community about the new location. I'd like to clarify the relocation of the Comcast customer services store will not affect the continuation of the current PEG Access Studio Audio, which is still located at the 440 Yager Way, Southeast Olympia. The proposed resolution includes changes to the franchise agreement only to Section 6.3 of the franchise agreement, which reads, the grantee, in this case Comcast, must maintain at a minimum the customer service facility located in a retail area no more than 5 miles from the Washington State Capitol campus, which shall be open and staffed during the normal business hours to provide subscribers with the opportunity to pick up and return subscribers' equipment, make bill payments, access information related to services and products, and or speak with a customer service representative. This particular amendment gives the flexibility to Comcast to choose the best possible location to provide services to its customers.
Any questions of?
No.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to rescind Resolution Number 15396 and amending the non-exclusive cable television franchise with Comcast of Washington 4, Inc., Comcast of Twin Cities, Inc., Comcast of Puget Sound, Inc., grantee, granted under Resolution Number 14200, to change the customer service location and change in the name of the grantee to Comcast Cable Communications Management, LLC.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. And so we have another item with Robin Campbell, who's going to talk about a public hearing for first quarter budget amendment.
Thank you, Commissioners. I am this afternoon requesting that you set a public hearing on the first quarter budget amendment to the 2017-2018 county budget, and that you set the hearing for Tuesday, April 11th at 3 o'clock in this room. In the interest of time, I will say that the details of the proposed amendment will be posted on the county website and available to anyone who would call to ask for it, and also that notice of the public hearing will be published in the Olympian and the Nisqually Valley News. If you'd like me to go any detail, I can, but I know that the time is brief today.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, yes, take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve a resolution setting a public hearing for April 11, 2017 at 3 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter may be heard at the Thurston County Courthouse, Building 1 in Room 280 to receive public comment on the first quarter budget amendments.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
just wondered if you were paying.
There you go. I got you. So the next item is with the county manager, Romero Chavez, call for sealed bids for official county newspaper.
Thank you, Commissioners. The revised Code of Washington, 3672-075, requires the counties annually select an official county newspaper where all official county legal notices are to be published. So I will ask the Commissioners to consider to approve the calls for sealed bids to secure any proposals as to the different newspapers and media outlets out there where we can consider as the official county newspaper.
Any questions about the newspaper?
No.
Nope.
Nope. I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve a call for sealed bids for the official county newspaper for the period of July 1, 2017 through June 30, 2018, and set a Wednesday, April 5, 2017 at 9 a.m. for the opening of the bids.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, for item 8E, I think with the blessing of the commissioners, the other two commissioners will forego that and just go to F for a quick county manager update, and then we'll proceed forward.
A quick update, Commissioners. Earlier in the public testimony, you were looking for Mr. Clayton Hill. Unfortunately, he had to leave. He was going to just testify. However, he left
great.
a letter, and he was, in this letter, he was supporting the approval of the amendment with the franchise agreement that you just approved.
Okay, good.
So I want to close the loop on that.
Sure.
For the sake of time, I will not be walking you through the calendar for the next 3 weeks, but I want to remind again the public, the meeting of March 28th has been canceled. However, that has been replaced with an executive session and a planning session, so you'll be working all
We'll be
day
working.
as well. And the April 4th Board of County Commissioners meeting, that has been canceled because there is a lack of quorum. 2 commissioners will be out of the office during the first 3 days of that week.
Any comments as they come out? Gentlemen? Okay, with that in mind, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn the Board of County Commissioners meeting of March 21, 2017.
Second.
And just so you know, that we'll be setting up for the Transportation Benefit District Board just shortly after this. So it's been moved and seconded to adjourn for March 21st, 2017. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Thank you.